It's more like now you sound far away.
Well, because you have headphones on, babe.
Okay, that was it.
Can we, for once, just one time, log on and not take us 20 minutes to get to where we need to go?
No, we can't. It's not possible.
You know what? I'll say this. It's been a long week this week.
Yeah, it has.
I'm very tired. I told Ephraim, I was like, go make me a coffee. I'm not going to make it through. And
6:30 over there.
uh, but it's like, so the kids went back to school last week. So I started work again. And even though you're not, it's not like it's a lot, but you just have to get used to it again. And the last 2 days in a row, I was at middle school PE, which is like
Like
buns.
run
If
laps.
there's any substitutes out there who know this, it's buns. Like it's the worst. Who's in here? What you got? Oh, okay. So, and do you have my coffee?
Mom, you keep forgetting to.
It's okay. I'll descale it tomorrow.
Okay.
I don't care if I get iron poisoning. Something's always trying to kill us. Anyway, it's just, it's hot in Hawaii and you're out there for 8 hours a day, just like luckily I had a great co-teacher. She just like helped combine us and she's like the coach and I was like, "You saved me today cuz middle schoolers are the worst."
Yeah,
I
they really
rarely
are.
I rarely take the middle school jobs anymore because they make you work for your money, for sure.
Imagine working for your money.
What I mean is like, okay, this might sound crazy because they're little, but like younger kids,
They're not
they
little.
they're still no, like elementary kids, they're still happy to be alive. They
Oh
like
yeah.
are impressed by things.
Oh
Middle
yeah.
school middle school, specifically 8th grade, they are no longer impressed with life. They've just hit
Mm-mm.
that curve of life where they're like, life kind of sucks, actually.
They finally get it.
Yeah, and so they're very disrespectful because they want to be treated like adults. They think they're adults, but they act
Yeah,
like
but they don't know
children.
how to act like adults.
No, not at all. And they think a lot of things and they're like becoming who they are, but while they're doing that, they're the most annoying,
Yeah, they suck.
disrespectful, and they smell disgusting. They're the worst.
They are.
High
They're the worst.
school, high school is the jam. You wouldn't believe me. You would not believe me. High school is the jam for substitutes. I'll tell you why. At this point in their life, they don't care. Give them their assignment and leave them alone. Don't get on them about having their phones because they're going to do their work or they're not going to do their work, and you cannot physically restrain them. You can't do nothing. So you just sit there and you're like, here's the assignment. Do it for points. Don't do it for points. And they're like, yeah, Miss Evans, whatever. We know the drill. And I'm like, I got candy for whoever's done. Easy peasy. They're like, yeah, whatever. Oh, thanks, buddy. I
Okay.
appreciate you.
Um, he looked like a ghost. Hello. And it scared me.
Okay, speaking of that, I found a really cool Reddit story,
I found a
and
really good one too.
I'm really excited because I know I want to read it too, but it's a two-parter. So if we get to it, we like it. There's a second story from the same person. So I was like, oh, that might work for today.
Okay, well then let me do mine first because mine is super short.
Ay, Chihuahua, that's hot. Okay. So when we do Reddit stories, we have to like say the name of the person, right?
Yeah, well, here's my thing is that mine actually comes from somebody's blog. So they
Okay.
basically collected all of these stories and they didn't really put who the author was. They were just like, oh, I collected these stories my senior year of high school. So,
Okay. I
I
just
mean,
want to
I
make
can't really
sure, like,
credit who did it. And it's the the reason why I like it so much is it's because it's sort of, well, one, it touches on one of my greatest fears, like probably my biggest fear. And then
okay.
and then two, um, oh shoot, what was I gonna say? Oh, it's sort of urban legendy sounding, but not urban legendy sounding,
Okay.
so
So you and I went in the same direction. Like, I read through so many stories, And you know that you and I are basically gangster professionals at this. So we're like,
Yeah.
this is made up. Or the writing is so bad we can't get through the story.
Yeah.
Or you know that they're exaggerating because they put
Hmm.
a specific detail and you're like, that's fake.
Yeah.
These ones are the ones that you're like, maybe even if they went a little too far, you still understand like the underlying story was true.
Yeah. It's vague enough, but detailed enough to make it good.
Right.
Vague
Because when
enough
we
to be
tell,
believable,
yeah,
enough details to scare you. Yeah.
when you tell a good story of something that happened to you, the specific parts that stand out are the ones that were significant to you. So you can't make those up. Like you can't exaggerate those
Yeah.
stories. Like I
Yeah.
still think of the story you told me when you were laying in the bed and the thing came in and like you felt it sit on the bed.
Yeah.
You can't make that up. Like that's not something you can make up. That is like a real reaction you had to like the weight of the bed is changing. My body is physically moving
Yeah.
with the weight. You can't make that up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
I
hard. I
love
mean,
it.
you could, but how?
It
Oh, no.
it wouldn't be believable. By the way, uh, I like my ring light. Okay, for the record, I'm white, but I'm tan and I got really tan recently. And every time I move my white hands, Italian hands to talk, I'm like, it looks like, doesn't it look like my hand is floating a little bit?
A little bit. Yes. When you do
Okay.
that.
I'm gonna
I don't
cover
even
these.
have my sweatshirt on because it's so hot here. It's so hot and humid.
Listen, I don't blame you, and I shouldn't say this, but I don't have anything on underneath this sweatshirt.
I
Okay,
mean, I don't have a bra on, but I have my
I'm
little
gonna
thing
cover
here.
these
So,
paws. Oh, I don't have. I never have a bra. You know how it is. I live in Hawaii. August is the hottest month. It's already hot as balls. August is the hottest month. We were out. We went golfing this morning. I worked on furniture refurb projects all day. So I'm like, I'm gonna put this on. And as soon as we're done, I'm gonna be in bed. That's why I was saying I was so tired today. You're like, it's 6:30.
oh,
I'm like, not in this heat though. Not in this heat. Anyway, I don't miss the Southern California desert heat.
well, I'm not in the desert. I'm in the freaking valley, kind of, and it's really humid. It's just like this, the air doesn't move. So it's
That
humid and it just hangs there.
that's same here. Like it's different, but we haven't
But
had
you guys
any.
have breezes, though. At least you
No,
have a
this is our
breeze.
dead month. This is our
Oh, is
like
it?
this is where the heat just sits. We don't get any rain, but it's humid, but the
Ugh.
grass is brown. Like the trees are brown. Like
Oh,
everything's dead and it's so hot. Yeah. I'm complaining. I live in Hawaii, but I'm
I know,
complaining.
right?
I
Oh,
don't care.
boo-hoo. It's
I
so
don't
hot in
care.
Hawaii.
Kick
I know. No,
rocks.
it
I don't
sucks.
care.
It sucks. Yeah, it does.
But yeah,
Okay.
I read a ton of stories. I was really happy to find not only one but two I think you will enjoy because it's right up our alley.
Oh, okay. I mean, honestly, I read like maybe two or three before I found this one. And then I was like, that's the one. That's the one that
Yeah,
got me. I mean, it wasn't super scary, but it was like, oh, I hate that. Like I'm afraid of that. So that's what got me.
I'm excited. Okay. All right, start us off.
Okay. Well, let me put this up a little bit. Uh, Okay. This one's called The Cabin. Don't know who the author is. A hiker decided to go on a hike by himself, something he was not very used to. The whole day was normal. Trees and bushes engulfed his surroundings. He enjoyed being outdoors in the mountains. Nothing seemed strange to him. That was until he was making his way back to his car. He figured an 8-hour hike was good enough. The sky was already getting dark and he needed to get back fast. What was odd was how much he didn't recognize the trail back. He was lost. He began to panic. Night had already taken over, and all he had was a flashlight and no clue on how to get back. He knew it was already too late and too dangerous to keep going through the perilous forest. He began to worry that he would have no shelter for the night when, almost luckily enough, he stumbled across a broken down cabin. It was dark, and it seemed like no one had visited it in years, but he knew it was the only place where he could rest until daylight, especially since his flashlight was running out of battery. He knocked on the door a few times, but no one answered, So he let himself in where, strangely enough, a perfect bed fitted for one person awaited for him in the center. He knew that if the owner came back, he could explain himself, and he was sure that the owner wouldn't mind, or was even probably dead. So he went ahead and got himself comfortable in bed. As he tried to sleep, he couldn't ignore the collection of paintings around the room. Portraits of strange looking people all peering at him, each wearing a smile that sent chills down his spine. Not long after, his exhaustion from the hike took the best of him, and he was able to ignore the painted faces and fall asleep. The next morning, he got up early and was shocked to see that there were no paintings around the room, but windows. The end.
Okay. That's creepy.
Right? It was faces looking in on him in the windows.
Okay. Okay. First of all, we just watched The Watchers.
Right? We did.
Okay. And secondly, no. Hang on. Roll this back. Let's circle back. Why would you ever just go into a cabin? Like, has he not seen the Blair Witch Project? Number one. Number two, a perfect bed.
Right.
A perfect bed. Any female would walk in and be like, oh, hell no.
No, I'm
Oh,
safer in the forest. Yeah.
This is too perfect. Something bad is about to happen.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I will say this. Getting lost on a hike, which I have done, is very scary.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. Remember when we used to live in Waianae, and there was that mountain that had the trail? And there was one way was the easy trail and one way was the hard trail. Well, someone told me that the easy trail was the easy trail, but it was actually the hard trail. And we got lost going up it when I was with my mom and my sister and my brother-in-law. And I was so scared because I remember I used to make fun of people that would get stuck up there hiking. I'd be like, oh my God, you can't even hike up like
Yeah.
literally see them
Just
in the
turn around and go
helicopters.
down. Like, what? Yeah,
Yeah.
like, what's wrong with you?
We couldn't do it. I was so scared that I was laughing. You know how like when you're so panicked, you're just
Yeah.
like, you can't stop giggling?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Oh,
how
yeah.
scared I was. Yeah.
No, it's no joke. And so depending on when you're hiking also, right? So if you're hiking, let's say in the Hawaii heat, 2-3 hours, you're done. If you don't have water, if you
Oh,
don't have
yeah.
shade, like ambulance. So my
Mhm.
sister Robin, she lives in St. George, Utah, which is like the desert times 20.
Oh, really?
And so you have you ever been driving and you've seen a mountain and you think, let's pull off and hike the mountain, but once you get out, you realize how far away it is. And you're
Oh,
like,
okay.
you know how everything looks real up close until you're. So she decides to go on first of all, a solo hike. Second of all, in the heat of the day, she starts walking. And at first, you don't feel anything because you have your water, you're fine, but you don't realize how far you've gone from where you parked. And then if you don't have a trail and you just turn around, you're not going to recognize anything.
Yeah.
Tell me why she got stuck out there for 2 hours and the ambulance had to go find her. She had to put like the location on her phone to be found. And if you know anything about Robin, she doesn't normally do stuff like this. So I was just like, why would you do that? She goes, it was just such a nice day. Like, bless her heart.
Go get lost in the
Yeah.
forest.
I think they took her to the hospital and I think they gave her like 3 full IV bags before she peed. Like she was so dehydrated. That's really freaking scary.
It is. It's real. First of all, getting lost is scary. And then the other part of the story that really freaked me out was the faces just staring at him smiling, because that is one of my biggest fears, is going to sleep and then waking up and there's like a face, or there's somebody at the foot of your bed, or there's somebody standing in your doorway and you're so vulnerable. What are you going to do? You're laying in bed and somebody's there. Like they got the jump on you already.
Yeah.
I have actually hit my children in the face on accident because you know how like your kids, they come and they wake up and they're just standing there. Yeah.
I believe
And
no, I
like
believe
get
you. I
scared,
believe
so
you.
Yeah.
I know. I 100% believe you
Yeah.
because you're in a dead sleep.
Yeah, and they're just staring at you.
I don't know if it's
Um,
because we're moms too. Like we everything has to be so scheduled out. So when something happens, you know, when your kid would come in and be like, "Mom, I don't feel good."
yeah,
And you would just that adrenaline would kick in because you get so scared that something's really bad and then they have a
yeah.
fever of 100. It's like that feeling. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
can I admit something though? Okay, so I have two coat racks in my room. Don't ask me why.
Because
I
you'd like
don't
to
know
scare
why.
yourself in the middle of the night?
To this day, I will wake up in the middle of the night and I will blink my eyes until I make sure that that coat rack is still the shape of the coat rack and not a person. What's funny
Hmm.
is even Nathaniel's like, "Why did you put those there? You know you're just gonna stare at them all night long." And I'm like, I feel like it's immersion therapy, you know? Like you do it so you get used to it. But I'm still after all this time will wake up and
Yeah,
I'll go,
you're still not used to it. Yeah,
"Satan?"
no. Do you know why? And do you want me to freak you out?
Oh my gosh, don't. Okay, go ahead.
Because even though those coat racks are coat racks, when you open your eye, more than likely something's right there and it's a different shape.
Yep.
And that's why you're not being immersed by the same shape. You're being immersed by something else in front of it, and then it's disappearing before you can figure it out.
Okay.
Okay. So boom,
I
in your face.
First of all, that was rude. Second of all, I actually think that's true,
Yeah.
which is why one of my favorite movies, The Conjuring, right? The part that is the scariest to me is when the little girl sees the lady in the dark shadow of the door. Because okay, so remember she's in her bed and she goes, "She's right there,"
Yeah. And
right?
the sister can't see her. Yeah.
Right. But at the whole every time I see that scene, I blink to see if I can like, did they put her in there? Because even when you watch the movie, you can't see her. But
Mm-mm.
I've been in that position where I'm like, you can't see that? I'm looking right at it.
Yeah.
And then you blink and then the shadow is taken back its form. So I believe you.
Mm-hmm.
That was really rude of you to do that to me though. I also sleep right next to the door, and if it's open even this much, I'll have nightmares. I know. I know. It's like a death trap in this room right now.
Do you
But
sleep with one leg uncovered hanging off the bed?
okay, shh. This is going to sound really stupid, but have you ever like challenged yourself to do that though? Have you ever like have you I know maybe you haven't cuz you've had some crazy stuff happen.
Well, yeah,
But
I mean, I've done it before, but it 5 seconds and my legs pulled back again because I start to if the air starts to feel thick and heavy and I'm
mm,
like, oh, okay, so I'm basically just conjuring something to come. Let me just put my leg back because now I'm just
okay,
taunting it.
so in your mind, leg off the bed means come get me?
Yeah, it means, hey, let me tease you.
Okay.
And it's saying, come get me.
I guess in my mind, okay, I do think that, but I'm also like, try me, ho. I'm in my like try me ho. Like, yeah, my
Oh,
foot's hanging off the bed, demon. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Show yourself. And then I'm gonna say your name and then you're gonna be banished. You know, like I
see,
get
I
ahead of
don't I don't
myself.
know. Like, I guess me, I know they're there. There's no doubt that they're not there. They're there. I can hear them. I hear them at night. I hear them in my closet.
Shh.
I hear them in my room. I hear them walking up and down the hall. So I don't need to test it because they're there, you know?
Sorry, my kiddo just
No.
came in and I'm like, no, get out, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I don't
Um,
I don't need to
See,
see if
but
it's
that's
there.
because you live such a different experience with like entities and things.
Yeah.
My overall experience is always these just really one-off. Oh, like the girl in the mirror. I'll never forget her. The girl in the mirror in South Carolina to this day was the creepiest thing that has ever
Yeah.
happened to me. Except now two things happened in that bathroom. The girl in the mirror and the head that came in the shower. Did I
Yeah.
ever tell you? Okay.
Yeah.
Those types of things happen to me, but I don't have frequent things happen to me. But I promised you last time we were talking that I was going to tell you something that happened.
Oh, okay.
So Okay, so I live in Hawaii. I live in AMR, which is like it's a base, but it has a public access road through it during the day. So people who live on either side of our neighborhoods can drive through our neighborhood, okay? But at like 9 o'clock at night, they close it. So it's kind of an interesting setup. One day I was in my house by myself, completely quiet in the house. I was folding clothes in the living room, and I hear my front door jiggle. And I thought in my mind, someone was like dropping off a piece of paper, like putting it in the door or
Oh, like a solicitor type thing?
yes, yeah, because it's the middle of the day and I'm not thinking anything of it, but it keeps going. And then I thought, I don't know why this is crazy, but 10 a.m. in the morning, I was like, oh, my kid's home from school. I lock the door. And as I start walking to the door, I go, wait, it's only 10 a.m. And if
Yeah.
Nathaniel was home, he'd have a key. And if Abner was home, so immediately I just stopped. I got a really creepy feeling. Well, like 2 days later, unbeknownst to me, Nathaniel's like, hey, just so you know, make sure the doors are locked during the day. AMR has had a bunch of break-ins, and they've had a person walking around and just opening doors and walking into people's homes. That was the first thing. So that creeped me out because at the time I was staying home in the day and working at night.
Yeah.
So every single day I was like double, triple, quadruple checking the door. So I had like just this awful like feeling in my chest every time he would leave. So to make myself feel better, I kept the house quiet so I could hear if someone was at the door, so I could call the police or something like that. So I was on high alert. Tell me why I'm downstairs in my bedroom and everything's locked, everything's fine. And I just hear a loud, like thunderous boom, boom, like just like someone dropped a dresser or I can't explain the sound to you. I froze. I was like, what like I was so, even telling you now, like the hairs go up.
Wait, you were downstairs and you
So
heard
I
it
was
upstairs?
downstairs. My bedroom is right over the living room. So it came from my bedroom. Now, if you know anything about our house, there's not a back door. This is hard
I'm
to
scared
explain.
already.
No, listen. I told you I was going to tell you. There's a front door, there's a garage, and then there's a back door that goes to a lanai that's about 12 feet up. So even if you jumped down, like there's no way to like get up there. There's no way to climb up there. There's no way to like get in the house except for the front door or the garage. So I knew in my mind nobody came in the house. Like there it's impossible. And it's a Hawaii built house so everything creaks. Like it's crappy material, it's built crappy, all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I wait because like I catch myself and I'm like, what the heck? Now we have two cats and a dog. So then I go, oh, I bet the cats knocked something down.
Hmm.
My stupid idiot self goes
Went
upstairs.
upstairs. Went upstairs. Yeah, you did. It's the white in you, Holly. It sometimes it comes
I
out
know
and
it.
I know it
Ugh.
doesn't matter how smart you are, you have that deficit in you. And so
Thank you. I ride the short horror bus, okay? So I go upstairs and instead of being cautious, I bust into my room thinking, I bet the cat's knocked over. I walk in
you
my
go
room.
in and you're
Now,
like la 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 la
no,
la.
literally, I was like, you stupid cats. Now, the other thing to add to the story is I'm a very like clean but decluttered person. I don't have stuff in my house. Like
Oh, okay.
to explain how I know this is true. I thought I was going to walk into my room and there was going to be something knocked over, something pushed over, hangers. Oh, I had too much stuff on my hanger bar one time. The whole thing fell, scared the crap out
Yeah.
of me, but it was just some nothing. Nothing. Not a thing was out of place. And the cats were outside.
Oh hell.
It took me
Oh
2 days to
hell.
go. It took me 2 days to go back upstairs by myself. Like if Nathaniel was not in the room with me, I was not in my bedroom. It was like somebody either jumped, and it was like two loud booms. So either jumped or dropped something or pounded their fists. And I haven't had anything in so long. I haven't had anything happen that I keep saying and justifying it away, but there's no way. There's no way. I thought a coat rack would be knocked over or a box would be on the ground. Something. Nothing. Nothing to this day.
I
I
don't
know.
like this story.
I
And
know. I should have just told that story instead of the one I'm
do
gonna tell
me
you.
do me a favor and unblur your background for me really quick.
Oh gosh, you're scaring me.
Really quick. Okay, it's just the lamp.
Yeah.
It looked like there was somebody behind you.
Okay.
It's the lamp.
But
Okay.
just for visual effect, that's my closet and I sleep on that side because Nathaniel has his whole I'm sitting in Nathaniel's area. So this is like his whole setup. And then let me see if I can go this way. So there's my two coat racks, my blankets, and my TV stand. So that's it. I don't have there's nothing. I don't know what I was thinking. If there was a
Right
if
now
it was
looks
a
like somebody was standing
person,
behind you.
yeah, if it was a person I would have been dead. And if it was a demon, they would have entered my body.
Yeah, you would have been
I
possessed.
totally possessed. I literally, I kid you not, walked into the room, realized what was going on, beelined it. I went downstairs, I opened my garage and like just went out like into the sun. Like I don't know how to explain it, but you're just like,
No,
oh,
you
get
needed to
like
be out. Like you needed to be in the
yeah,
light. You needed to
yeah,
be in like just something real.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I have not had an experience like that in a long time, so it kind of like caught me off guard. Like I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm good." Like I don't
Like
have
it's
things
gone
like
now. It's
yeah.
calmed down. Yeah, no.
But
That's how they
since
get you, man.
then,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like it. So I'm sort of back to my like you know better. Like leave your door closed, leave this, leave that. Like you don't do this, you don't do that.
Don't
Like scary
investigate.
movies are watched downstairs. You do
Hmm.
not ever watch a scary movie in your bedroom. You know that, right?
Yeah, you really shouldn't. I did that. I did Lake Mungo in my bedroom.
Oh, did
And
you like that?
oh my God, I loved it.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
I loved it. I should not have IMDb'd it during the movie. I ruined it for myself
Why do we do this?
because I was just so curious. But it was so scary. It's probably one of the scariest movies I've seen in a really long time. So yeah,
You
and I did
saw
that in my
Long Legs
bedroom.
too, didn't you?
Yeah, that was so silly.
I want to see it though. I love Nicolas
I
Cage.
know. It was good, but it was silly. But yeah, don't do it in your
Hmm.
bedroom. Actually, I had
Yeah.
something happen to me
Tell
recently.
me.
Well, I mean, something like significant, and it's been happening over and over. Um,
I thought we had discussed this, didn't we say like it's been a long time? Like,
it's been really quiet lately,
yeah. What's that
and
about?
it's just been well. The first thing I noticed is because I sorry, it's like 10 o'clock over here.
Bro, we're old up in here.
I
Like, just deal with it.
know. Oh my God. I've been out in the sun all day getting supplies to set up my hermit crab tank and to
See?
set up my freaking fish tank
I
too.
love it.
I know. We have hermit crabs now. Don't ask.
I love it. I love it.
Um, but okay, so I close a lot at my job and we close at like 8 o'clock and then we're there for like another hour afterwards. And it's just, really quiet. It's like me and two other people in the store. And one of them's like dealing with the animals in another room, like in the back of the store. And then like one of them's like sweeping and mopping. So I hardly see them. And so I was doing the registers. I was taking the registers out and like counting the money and stuff. And I'm walking from the register area to the back office to like, put the money away. And I see one of the workers standing in the aisle and like she's on her phone. And I was just like, oh, Diane, because I thought it was Diane. I was working with this girl named Diane. And I was like,
Don't
"Ugh,
tell
Diane."
me.
So like because I went past that aisle so quick and I was walking with the money, which is kind of heavy. It's like registers.
Yeah.
I was like, but when I got to the office door, I was like, Diane, are you right there? Just to like kind of give her like, hey, I know you're
Uh-huh.
there, so get off your phone, you know?
Uh-huh.
And then I didn't hear anything. And I was like, and I went, Diane, and I didn't hear anything. And I was like, ugh. So I went in the office and I put the registers in the office, locked the door again, went back out. It was like in the span of 15 seconds, went back to that aisle. And I was like, heck did she go?
Mm-mm.
And I was like, okay. So then I went back into the office and I started counting the money. And then one of the other workers came in the office and I was like, where's Diane? And they were like, why? And I was like, because I just called to her on the floor and she like didn't even answer me. And they were like, oh, she's taking out the trash in the dock. And I was like, no, she's not. I just saw her in the aisle. And they're like, she's in the dock. She's been taking out the trash because there's a
No.
lot of trash. They're like, sorry, is she taking too long? And I was like,
So,
how
so
long
wait, wait,
has
wait.
she
So
been doing
she
that?
was already taking the trash out.
Yeah, that's why I was
Like,
like, how long has she been doing that? And they go, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes or something. And I was like, yeah.
no.
And I was
No,
like,
Mallory, no. I don't like what you are telling me right now.
I know. I was
In
like,
the store,
in the store.
okay. This is what I'm saying. In broad daylight. What is going
I
on?
don't know. It just wants to be seen. And so I even verified with her when I finished counting, I was just like, well, maybe she got done, maybe she was there, whatever. I verified with her. I was like, hey, when did you go take out the trash? She was like, oh, I was doing it before the store even closed. She goes, because I didn't want to be in the dark out in the back.
Mm-mm.
And
Mm-mm.
I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, I saw you on the aisle on your phone. And she was like, I wasn't in because it was in the dog
No.
snack. She was like, I wasn't there. And I was like,
Did you explain it to her though?
yeah,
Or
kind of. I was like, it's a long story. I was like, I have a ghost, and it just made itself look like you. And she was like,
I and that is not the first time that it has done that.
no, and it's not the first time I've seen it in the store. What it likes to do is that wasn't the first time I seen
What
it.
do
That was
they
the
call
first
that?
time
An
it was summoned.
apparition or something?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'll be
When a
it
demon makes itself look, or like a spirit makes itself look like someone else.
yeah, to just throw you off, to think,
I
to
don't like. I don't
trick
like
you.
it.
But like there'll be other nights where, or in the morning, because sometimes we have to be there at like 7 in the morning, and you're there by yourself for like 2 hours. Well, there's one other person with you, but you're
But
alone in
it's
the store.
always when you're like getting ready to open, getting ready to close, stress of the store.
Yeah, like the whole, it's when you're not really paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll see it and I'll see something, literally a person run by and flash across like the aisle, and then it goes behind another
Oh,
aisle, and I'll be like, what the heck? And then all of a sudden it comes running this way, and I'm like that, and I'm like,
I
oh
hate
my God.
this. I
Yeah,
hate that you're telling me this.
it's really tricky. Not tricky. It's
Oof.
really,
Making me sweat.
it's like it feels violent in a way, but it's not
Yeah.
violent, but it feels very like bold. It feels bold. It's really bold.
Well, okay, so it wants to be seen, but
Yes.
it wants to what's the word I'm looking for? It wants to trick you because if you were like, let's say, to follow it, it would probably get more aggressive and probably like, okay, let me put it this way. How many times have we watched a movie where you see something go by a kid and the kid is not scared because it doesn't know any better?
Yeah.
And it follows that thing, or it follows the noise
Yeah.
because it doesn't know that there's anything bad on the other side of it. It just goes, oh, what was that? Oh, I'm going to go invest, like I did. Like they just go investigate, and then the door shuts behind them and then the demon takes them. So it's
Yeah.
like, why would it play with you like that though? Because you know better and it knows that you know better.
I think because, well, one of my fears is that I won't know somebody's in the store because we have a lot of transient people, like a lot of homeless people by the store, and they like to come in
Oh.
when we're not paying attention. And if we're not paying attention, they'll go into the bathrooms and like literally set up camp there. They will try to like sleep
Oh, that's
there.
so creepy. See? Okay,
Yeah.
so mine happens when the door shakes because someone came to my door trying to get in.
Yeah.
Yours is
See?
like, so it's based off like a legitimate fear.
Yeah. And it's like playing with my fear. It's like, am I here? Where am I? You can't
And
see
then
me. Am I
you go to
actually here?
investigate and oh, yeah, no, Mallory, that's a huge no for me.
Yeah, right. And it's like really trying to like play on my fears. And so it really sucks. And then there was one
Hmm.
night where I was sleeping and I hear something. Did I tell you about the time it yelled in my ear?
Mm.
Yeah. So I'm dead asleep and I wake up like like that. And I thought somebody was yelling in my ear because they're just going, oh, like that. And I was like, oh, and I thought it was Eugene. And
What?
yeah, it was screaming in my ear. It was screaming in my ear.
What is going on?
I don't know. And I was like, oh my God. And it was so angry. I thought it was
Have you
Eugene
ever
like yelling at me.
have you ever woke up, like been crying in a dream and you woke up and you're crying in real life?
Yeah,
Is it like that feeling? Like it's so real
it's so real. Yeah.
that you wake up and you're like, did that actually happen or was it my dream? Cause I like, do you lucid dream? I lucid dream. I'm a very light sleeper.
Um,
I have dreams that like they seem like they last for hours, but they don't. But I will wake up in the feeling of the dream, which are usually nightmares, especially when I'm PMSing, which is weird. But I'll cry or I'll be scared in the dream and I will wake up in that feeling. Was it like that?
well, I mean, I woke up terrified because I thought someone was yelling. I thought something was wrong.
So it wasn't a dream to begin with. It literally woke you up.
Yeah, it literally woke me up, almost like an alarm or
Oh.
something, but it was a
Okay,
voice.
can I ask you a question? Did
Yeah.
somebody die in your closet or something?
I don't
Because
know this.
that's where it seems to be the worst, is like right up in that area.
I don't think so because this house isn't very old.
That doesn't mean someone didn't die in it.
That's true. That's true. I don't
I
know.
was
I don't
like,
know if
let
anybody
me just
died
make
here.
your life worse right now.
I think, honestly, I think
Hmm.
it's just the same thing, like trying to bother me. I think it's just
I
trying to bother
hate
me.
that.
I know. I hear it all the time. It's always talking. Um, I'll see things walking. My windows, like they get a lot of shadow. And I'll see things walking back and forth.
Yeah, you've told me that before. You've
Yeah.
you've told me that literally you have felt like there was two people literally standing right outside your window, and then when you
Yeah.
went to look, there was nothing.
There's nothing. Yeah.
Ah,
It's
that's
just,
so,
it's awful.
because where you live, maybe on the outskirts of the neighborhood is a little sketchy, but
Yeah.
you're very tucked in. Like you're
Yeah.
not easily
Exactly.
accessible. Your backyards are smashed in. You don't have a
Yeah.
front yard. So it's like
Yeah.
no one would just be meandering around your house
Not
specifically.
unless they were up to no good, you know?
Right, unless they were literally canvassing every single house.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, my house is on a cul-de-sac, but it's on a cul-de-sac with nothing behind us but a park. So we're very like open. Like if you walk straight up to the hill of the park, that's my house.
Oh.
Like so it wouldn't be crazy that someone would be meandering, but the thought never crossed my mind that that would be happening either. So now I'm freaked out by it.
Mm.
Like for you, mine is like, oh, it's a real person could come and open my door. For you, it's like no one would be there except a spirit or except something.
Yeah, like unless I'm actually expecting somebody, who is it? There's
Yeah,
nobody.
who's
Who's
coming
there
to?
in my window?
Yeah, we don't
And
have
at
any
night.
friends. Yeah,
Yeah, at night. I don't you're my only friend and you live across an ocean.
I I have no friend. If my phone rings, okay, if my phone rings, it's two things. It's my kid's school or someone died. Like
Yeah,
I don't, you know what I mean?
literally.
Like it's that's off topic. But yeah, and I know because I know your bedroom window literally just faces that front entryway.
Yeah.
So who's hanging out over at your house except for some demons?
Yeah. Except for the demons, it's fine. What just went
I
behind
I
you?
always
What just went behind you?
That was my leg.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
I'm sitting like with my leg, but my blur effect, it like blurs in and out. So
Yeah,
that's why I was
I
like,
don't
my
like
hand looks
that.
like it's floating.
Now I can see it. Now it's
It's
a
also
demon.
getting dark in here, but
Oh,
well, do you even want to hear my story, or are we good?
yeah, I
Like,
do.
okay. So it's a little bit longer. And if you like it, I can save part two for another one. But I thought it was good. I don't think it's fabricated. It might be exaggerated, but not fabricated, if that makes sense. Like, maybe it happened, but maybe she added a little bit. I
Okay.
don't know. Okay. So this is on Reddit. Um, the person who posted this and wrote, so this is her story, is Infinite Style 1023. This was posted just 17 days ago. And it's called A Night Shift in Radiology. Okay, for the record, anything medical, I believe. If people say they see a ghost in the hospital, I believe them. If
Yeah.
people say they see things floating around, because there's so much death and there's so much light, like birth and death,
And
I believe
trauma
everything.
and just
Hmm.
stress. Yeah, I believe
Well,
it.
people literally die and then they're brought back to life. You think that's not
Yeah.
traumatic? Like, anyway.
Yeah, come
Okay, A
on.
Night Shift in Radiology. I worked in the radiology department in a hospital in Cardiff, Wales, UK for about 3 years as an admin and clerical officer before getting a promotion and working in medicine. During these 3 years, I saw a lot of things, ranging from patients dying in the MRI scanners to patients having an x ray for inserting a meat thermometer into their urethra. Nights always seemed the craziest. I believe that part.
Mm-hmm.
One time, a patient came in with armed police after an altercation which involved a knife in the middle of the city center, and just so happened that the person he had the altercation with was having an x ray too. This caused a second altercation right in front of me. Chairs were thrown, a trash bin or two, and then a wheelchair. So I have seen some things, some funny, some stressful, some sad, and many bonkers. But this one night, something crazy. I would start a night shift about 7 o'clock, then would work until 8:30 the next morning. This was the standard night shift for our department. We would usually do 3 nights in a row before doing 4 days off. After the third night, you were ready to sleep for a week. The strange thing was, this was my first night of the 3, so not at all tired. It started off normal. I arrived at the department, took over from the day staff, logged into my PC, and during this time, we usually would set up our phones or tablets to watch movies or the latest TV series, as there would be a lot of downtime between patients. Like I said, the first few hours, nothing that interesting. Just your average run-of-the-mill night in radiology. Then it came to my break. Now, before I tell you more, I should probably explain the layout of this hospital. This hospital is the largest in Wales. It's a teaching hospital and it's pretty old. Now, the best way to get from A to B in this hospital is through what we call the tunnels or the catacombs. These consist of very dimly lit corridors, old abandoned rooms, tunnels, and other creepy, decrepit areas. Like, I'm already hooked.
You
This
shouldn't
is
tell, no, first of all, don't name anything catacombs if they're not actually catacombs, because you're setting
yeah.
yourself up for failure. All
Yeah,
right, go on.
yes. Like, I love, she sets the scene so well, and I just love it. Anyway, the morgue is also found in these corridors. So it's not a nice place to be during the day, let alone the middle of the night, but it's the quickest way to get places if you're staff. Okay, P.S. though, if you and I worked there, we would never use those tunnels. We would walk a mile and a half to go
No.
to the front. It would never happen. But it makes me think of that movie, The Autopsy of Jane Doe, where they had the morgue downstairs and they had the one girl um, from Pretty Little Liars. She was like the main character and she went down there and
I
worked in
don't
the
think I've
morgue. Do you
ever
remember
seen
that movie?
I've seen it available, but I don't think I've ever watched it.
Oh, Mallory, please watch that movie. It's
All right.
it's it's really really good. It's one of my favorite, like The Unborn, but better.
Are you sure? Because I hated The Unborn.
I know you hate The Unborn, but this is creepy as hell. Listen, and it has a really good story. Like, it's not
Okay.
just scary to be scary. You would like it.
Okay.
It's called The
Anyways, go on.
Autopsy of Jane Doe. Anyway, rushing me. There's always been rumors and mumblings of strange things happening in these tunnels. Some people say they saw ghosts in old-fashioned porter uniforms taking wheelchairs to pick up patients. Others say they have seen shadows following them from the corner of their eyes. But one person has claimed they were attacked by a person wearing an old nurse's uniform from the 70s. This place is creepy even at the best of times, but for me, never really fazed me. I've been down there hundreds of times before. The worst experience up to this point was having a sluice pipe drip human waste on my head. That in and of itself was a horror show. But tonight would be something altogether different and maybe not even of this physical world. Like I said, before a very quiet night. I had been watching the latest series of One Piece because I'm a geek. During my downtime, then a radiographer or radiology technician for my American friends out there came to take over and cover for my break. I decided to go to the 5th floor where the sanctuary was located. On a night shift, it on a night shift is one of the most peaceful places in the hospital. But to get there, I had to walk through the tunnels to reach the nearest elevator. I set off on my journey, which would usually take about 15 minutes, scanned my key card on the main entrance to the tunnels, then proceeded to walk through. 2 minutes in, I started to feel like someone was walking behind me. It being a busy hospital and basically the tunnels acted like the highway, I didn't think anything of it. Suddenly, I heard panting, like someone was trying to catch their breath after going for an intense run. So I turned around to check and saw nothing. A bit strange, but thought it was nothing. Maybe just one of the pipes above my head was creaking, or a generator was pumping. So I carried on walking, but I kept feeling like someone or something was watching me and was walking behind me. Out of sheer confusion and fear, I missed my turn towards the elevators and found myself in a large section of the tunnels that I've never been before, littered with old stretchers, beds, hospital furniture, and equipment. Some of this stuff was over 50 years old, maybe older, just left to decay in a dark, smelly, decrepit, and dusty corridor. This was starting to really creep me out because in all of this confusion, I realized I was lost. It almost felt like I had fallen in the back rooms. Again, we're talking about being lost again. Like if I felt like someone was following me, immediate 180 and back to where I came from. Like, what are we doing?
Find some people.
Like anyway, okay. Everything looked the same. I could feel a tightening in my chest and could feel the start of a panic attack. I remember clutching my chest and running down a corridor trying to find a signpost or something to tell me where I was. The sense that something was watching me got stronger. Suddenly, I felt something hit my arm in force, almost like someone using a baseball bat. I remember falling to the ground, pulled myself across the floor towards the cold, dusty wall, and looked around frantically, trying to find an explanation to what the heck just hit me. Then something caught my eye. It was almost like a black mist with glowing red eyes. It was about 20 meters away from me, just hovering in the middle of the corridor. Was this the thing that had been stalking me the entire time? I got back up and sprinted. I ran down what it felt like 100 different corridors until I found a housekeeper. He asked me what was wrong because I looked pale, but I couldn't get any words out. He then grabbed me by the arms with a firm grip and said, "Did you see it too?" That was the last time I ever stepped foot in the tunnels. To this day, I hear rumors of strange things. I'm not sure what I saw that night. Maybe I was tired. Maybe I was stressed. Maybe it was something. Why else would the janitor ask me if I had seen it too? What else is down there? Well, I can tell you one thing for sure. I won't be going to find out. Thanks for taking your time to read this. Josh. Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
You tell me. That sounds real to me. That sounds real to me.
That
Even
sounds,
if
yeah, I believe it. I
even if
guess it
he
was
made
something
up
up to no good.
little bit of it, you can't fake the description of what it feels like when you feel like something's following you.
Yeah.
What was that?
Alexa, turn on kitchen.
Satan!
No, it's my lights. All my lights go off at 10:30.
Mallory, I could not live like that. That is so creepy. I'll tell you why it's funny. All of my little lamps in the house turn on at 5 o'clock because I can't have my house dark.
Oh, well, usually we're in bed already. So it's just so that if we fall asleep with anything on, they'll turn off.
Hmm.
But it kind of sucks, like if you're up
Creepy.
late and then like you're in the kitchen and it goes
I
dark and you're like,
know. I'm
okay,
sorry. It's so late there. I know it sucks.
no, it's fine. No, because actually I have been up later because I always close. So the
Yeah.
lights are always turning off on me and I'm like, oh yeah.
Jesus, help me. Anyway.
Anyway, you know what? I believe that.
Okay.
I
I'm
believe that
sorry.
because here's the thing is that there are some bad people in this world, right? Some people
Yeah.
that are so bad that maybe they do have some sort of like demon in them. And here's the thing, when they die, where does that demon go?
Right. Because if you're religious,
Hmm.
there's at least for us, like what we understand is there's like a good place you can go, not so great place you can go, and a really bad place you can go.
Yeah.
And the really bad place is supposed to be like just unimaginably creepy. But like what about people who are in limbo and like what do they call that?
Limbo,
No, when
purgatory.
you're yeah, purgatory.
Yeah.
What where are you just floating around? Like where do you go?
Well, that actually brings to mind one of my favorite movies. I actually was at a thrift store today and I found it on DVD and I bought it, even though I
Of
don't watch
course
DVD.
you did. You are a thrift store whore.
Really, seriously. But I also found two really great pairs of Levi's. Anyways,
I hate you.
despite that, it's a movie called Fallen. Have you ever seen it? It's Denzel Washington, John
Yes.
Goodman. Okay,
Yes. I
love
love that
that.
movie.
Love that movie.
Yeah,
So
it's
in
about
that
the
movie,
fallen angel, right?
well, it's about Azazel. It's a
Yeah.
demon who has
Yeah.
been alive for like 500 years. Basically, what he does is he just goes around and he just causes like destruction. He just
Yeah.
kills for the sake of killing. He
But I
just
thought
creates
he was
chaos.
a fallen angel.
Yeah, he is. I mean, that's
Oh,
why it's
okay,
called
okay, okay,
Fallen.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But his whole thing is that he has to jump from like person to person, touching like each person touches and he can
Yes.
jump. Now, if the person that he's in dies, he has like, I think it's like 20 something breaths to find something else alive to go into, or
Yeah.
else he dies.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say some demon, I know that they make up the 20 breaths or whatever, but let's say somebody dies and they have like this evil entity, an evil spirit, an evil demon, what have you, in them. Once the host is gone, this thing is just hanging out looking for
Right.
somebody else.
You just reminded me of another movie called Six Souls. Have you ever seen
Never seen
that?
it.
I
No.
think it has Julianne Moore in it. Basically, this evil person dies, and what he does is he just keeps jumping into the bodies of all these other people
Uh-huh.
and kind of doing the same thing but in a different way. But he's not a fallen angel. He just was a really evil dude.
So like his
And
spirit.
yeah, like his spirit for whatever reason, it's called six souls because he's able to do it for six bodies.
Okay.
Um, it's sort of that gray area of like religious beliefs where we're like, well, where do they go? What happens to us when we die? What happens to them? Because there are people who come here who are innocent, but they become evil. They're absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
Where do they go? Like,
I mean, if you believe in heaven and hell, you think like you were saying heaven or hell.
yeah.
Or if you're like the Catholics, maybe you do have that in between. Or maybe
So
there
if you're
maybe
in between, you just get to like float around and do whatever you want.
no, but I think purgatory is literally not here on earth. I'm not super I don't know a lot
I
about
don't know. I don't know
Catholicism,
either. I don't know
but
either.
I don't think it's anywhere on earth. I think it's sort of like here's earth and then like here's space and then like here's purgatory and then like there's heaven. Like
That's what
it's
I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
it's like outer darkness.
Yeah.
It's just not connected to anything.
Yeah. I
But
think
if
it's
they're
something like that.
lost, they could, because I'm telling you right now, and this is a deeper level, there are people and things that have happened in this world that are pure evil, like pure.
Yeah,
There's no way that like a normal soul from heaven could have done those things. Like it has to come from an evil, either an entity has taken over a person or they have influenced a person or in some way.
it's gotta be.
Yeah.
It's gotta be. Like, how can a person, unless they're so messed up in their brain, like chemically or physically, then I guess I could see that. But even at the same time, like, it's gotta be something more.
That's what I mean. Like you're driven to do such heinous things that aren't human almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I thought the story was interesting. One, because it was a dude. So it was like, what, I feel like dudes are
Guys
less
don't usually
scared.
talk about that. Yeah, they don't like
No,
to
and
admit they're scared.
right. And women, I can guarantee right now, every woman listening to this would be like, I wouldn't have stepped foot in that tunnel. Like,
Yeah.
I would not be caught dead
Yeah, so
taking
that
these
never would have happened to a
tunnels.
woman because they won't go in a place where they're gonna
Yeah.
be in trouble. Yeah.
And also, I appreciate, so he has a secondary to this story. So I appreciate that he's not just a one-off. He's like, look, this thing really happened. Like, I'll keep talking about it if you want. He has a ton of like comments and threads. So I just
Oh, really?
appreciate that. Also, I feel like there's people who tell stories for attention, and then there's people who tell stories that have impacted their life. Like, I feel like your stories, you never tell them for attention. They're always because you're like, bro, no, I don't want to talk about it. It creeps me the hell out. Like,
Yeah. I don't want to
"Ah, see, Satan's calling.
keep hearing something. Um, I don't really like, I mean, no, I don't mind talking about them. It actually helps sometimes to talk about it. It makes it, well, no, it doesn't make it less real, but sometimes it helps. It's just, I feel like if I give it attention, if I give it energy, I start hearing things. It starts going, oh, yay, you're paying
Oh,
attention.
for
Let me make more
sure.
noise. Yeah.
Well, and then probably anxiety takes over too. We're already like prone to being sensitive to those things. And then
Holly,
you're thinking about it, so
Holly,
it's on your
Holly, Holly,
brain.
Holly, Holly.
What? What?
Turn off your blur.
Don't you dare! You just made me pee a little. Who? What?
But you
I
moved it.
hate you.
Okay, we're gonna have to roll that back because I
I
can't, I
hate you.
wish I could show you.
Oh, was it a
We,
cat? Was it a
no,
cat?
no. So you see
Oh
the
my
boxes behind you?
gosh.
Okay. Do you see the
Wait, this
boxes
side?
behind? No, the other side.
This
You have
side.
a, okay, see the
Right here?
boxes. Okay. No, right there. That one. You, what is that like?
So
Oh
that's
hell!
Junie.
Oh hell, Adelaide.
That's Adelaide. Did you see maybe Junie's head?
No, maybe. Was he in
Girl.
the room?
Yeah, Junie. Well, Junie will like come in and kind of see what I'm doing and then leave, and the door was open. Adelaide, I'm filming right now.
Oh.
Oh, you look like a demon. You just made me pee a little.
Because when you moved your hand like this, it cleared up the space right here. It made it clear, and I saw a face. And then your hand moved
I
and it blurred.
hate you.
But
I
you should
am
roll it
not
back.
turning my blur back on. I hate you. I hate
It
that you
could have
just
been the
did that to
dog.
me.
No, it could have been the
My
dog because your
listen,
dog
my
is black.
vagina literally went. That
But it
was
looked,
so. Don't do that.
well, I saw a face and then it disappeared. But it could have been the dog because now that the
But
dog's looking at
also,
me, yeah, it could have been the dog. So when you watch this again, look and see if you see what I see. It was a flash. It was literally a flash, but it scared the bejesus out of me.
I hate you. I'm
Sorry.
never talking to you again.
I don't know why you're sitting in
Also,
a dark room. Why are you in the dark?
because this is called frickin' scary. We talk about scary things.
No,
I wanted to set the scene. I just didn't realize you were going to make me pee my pants.
no. I have my lights on because when we talk about the movies and stuff, that doesn't really scare me. When we read stories, that's legit. So
I hate
lights need
you.
to be on.
I hate you. I'm never talking to you again. I was gonna come visit you. Now I'm not. Now I can't even put my blur back on, so I hope I don't have any important information like social security numbers that somebody could steal. You jerk. Okay, I didn't know we were gonna take this turn. This old lady over here is falling asleep. My coffee's just kicking in.
Oh my gosh.
Junie, you say hi? Well, I have my dog to protect me now. Okay, I'm gonna put my blur back on because Adelaide will walk into my room. Now, listen, she's a modest person, but at home, things hang out, and I don't want nobody seeing her body, okay? She's just a
Okay.
kid.
No, that's fine. No, it was just really weird the way it's super cleared up right
So I
there.
went
And I was
like this, and it like,
I don't know. It cleared up for just a second. It was a flash. You got to roll it back. You got to look back and see what
I
I see.
hate
And it
you
could have just been like
so
because of
much.
what we're talking about. I'm seeing what I want to see. But that was really clear
Also,
because it looked like Pazuzu.
is the blurry background creepy or is it I thought it was just like for privacy. Now that I'm looking at it, it's kind of creepy.
Well, it's not that it's
Like,
creepy. It's just that
look at
if
my
anything
shadow.
moves, yeah, like if anything moves, you can't see what it is.
I bet it was one I hope it was one of my cats.
Well, the thing is that if it was Junie, which he came from your pillow side, so if it was him, I probably would have seen him move, but I didn't see any movement. I just saw it cleared up and it
So,
was right there.
okay, A, Junie's a girl. But
Oh,
B,
yeah.
Junie is very, very, very quiet. So she can jump on the bed and you wouldn't even know she was there.
See how it cleared up? Now it cleared up and I didn't see boxes. I saw a face. Now here's the thing.
I
Why would it
just
stay
saw
like
it.
why
Wait,
would
I
it
just
stay
saw
like
it.
that? Okay, but why would it stay clear like that if there was nothing there? The reason why it cleared is because something was there in its way for the camera to catch.
Okay, hang on. Pause the show. Pause the show. Actually, no. Hang on. Hang on. You guys are about to see. I hate you. I hate you. Okay. We're doing the rest of the show like this. I hate you. I hate everything about you. And I saw it too. It was right here.
Yes,
It was
and
right
all
here.
I could see was the boxes that time. But when I saw the face, it wasn't brown, it was black and it had like white in its eyes.
I hate you.
It looked
Okay,
like Pazuzu. You remember
so just
Pazuzu?
so everybody can see, this is what you're seeing before I put the blur on.
So maybe it was Junie because if she was sitting like that on the bed at the time
Yeah.
and she turned her face that way, she would have been right where it was.
She
So
might
maybe,
have snuck in and been on the bed the whole time and then just happened to pick her head up.
yeah, it could have
We're
been.
gonna pray that that's what it was, Mallory. We're gonna pray that that's what it was. Let's see. That's okay. We're honest. We're talking about scary stuff. It makes sense that things would happen. Actually, have we ever documented a scary thing happening while we filmed? I feel like both of us are like, oh, what was that? And then it's all Seymour, or like
It's
our
the
husband walks
dog or
in.
it's
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
think we've ever
because
got it
see
on tape.
now I kind of, but no, I was just sitting like this and right here went clear.
It was weird.
This will make for a great scary episode.
I think we're the only ones that are going to be scared.
Freaking scared. Hey, our 13 subscribers want to know, okay? We're going places with this. I think a lot of other people have a lot of stories. See, look. Why is it only clearing right there?
It's like how when I took a picture of myself using one of those filters from Snapchat, it not only put the glasses on me, but it put the glasses on something next to me. Didn't I ever show you
No,
that?
you did that?
Yeah, and it did it, and I
No.
thought it was. I hope I don't know if I could find it, but I have a picture of it, and it freaked me out.
I
It's on my Instagram, I think.
hate that. I've seen so many people that happens to. So me and Ryan tried it and it never worked on us.
It did on me, but my bed frame is a little bit twisty, so I didn't really believe it because I was like, it could be picking up my bed frame as a face.
You did it in your bedroom?
Yeah, I do stupid
That,
white girl stuff.
no, listen. I'm trying to tell you that's where all that energy comes from. It's from your closet. You don't believe me?
Yeah, but why is my closet so? It is cooler in my closet.
I don't know, but like where else?
I don't know why it would do that.
It's like the tightest, darkest little tucked in area of the whole room. Because your house is quite open.
Yeah, it is. It's an open format type thing.
That's so creepy. I'm gonna have to roll this back. If I
Yeah, just
see
to
it,
see
I
if
am
it
gonna
would really
clip
bug.
it and make a short of it because you scared me. I literally have to go change my leggings.
Oh, I
Like,
don't know where it is. Not on
and
here.
because and because it's actually darker in here than it looked on my screen, so was trying to look in the screen to see what I was doing.
Hmm.
But it's actually like if I would have
You
turned
should have
around,
just
it would have
turned
been
around is what you should have done.
no, because then I would have seen it. Duh.
But then maybe it would have disappeared had you done that.
I'm not trying to have my face
Ripped off.
ripped off by some demonic presence.
I
I
don't know.
already have boogies that I need to pick, then I can't get them right now because I'm on screen. I don't need to worry about that.
Oh
Anyway,
my God. I
but
don't
did you
know.
like the story? I liked yours. I like that yours was the to the punchline.
Yeah.
Could be longer, but didn't need to be.
Didn't need to be. No, it was just, it was Windows. Ugh. It's really all you need to
Yeah.
know.
Um, I appreciate a little bit of what's the word? I appreciate a little bit of a question mark. Like that story could have
Yeah. Like
more.
open ended.
You could build on it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
the the story from this Reddit dude. So I already read the second part too.
Well, read the second part to me.
No, 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 it's too long. It's so long.
How long is it?
Well, it's longer than that one.
Okay, boo-hoo. That one was like
Yeah.
3 minutes.
Yeah, but it's, when you're listening to someone speak, you don't want to hear them read the whole story. You kind of want to get them to get to the point. So I could do it on the next one, but I do appreciate his storytelling. Even if you're going to retell a thing that happened to you, people want it to be a little bit entertaining and
Yeah,
not
he
just
wrote
like,
well. He wrote it well.
yeah. He gave us the details, the background, just enough that we like could set the scene.
See if you can see it.
Oh my gosh.
If you, it's hard to see.
No.
Let me turn off the light on my camera. Hang on.
I could see it. No, that's so creepy. Laying right next to you.
Let me turn off this
Why?
tail.
La
I don't,
Lorena.
I don't know if you can, or maybe if I put it darker. I don't
Let
know.
me see.
Oh wait.
Oh,
So you could see. Oh, hold on. So you could see the ears. Fuck. Shoot.
can you hold it up like by your face a little bit?
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that's even worse.
Like right there, right there, right there. It's
Okay,
perfect.
you could
Yeah, yeah,
see the
yeah, yeah,
ears.
yeah. I could see it.
It like keeps wanting to be dumb, but
Just, yeah. But it's to the right of you, right?
it's to
Like
the right.
it's,
So here's the
yeah.
ears on me, and then there's the ears on something else next to me. And I was like, well, maybe it thinks
What?
that curly Q is a nose. I don't know, but
But that doesn't even look like that.
a
There's no way
face.
that could be mistaken for a face.
I know. So I was like,
Like
what
your
the hell?
animal could, or like a doll or a picture frame, which I've seen people like a picture behind them will do that.
Yeah,
That doesn't, there's not even a face there.
yeah, it was weird. And it
That's
put the
so
glasses on
creepy.
it too. Damn it, I wish you could see it. Hold on, let me see. So you could see the dang glasses on it
Oh, yeah,
too.
yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, that's much better. Wait, stay right there. laying right by
I
you.
know, it's like right at my shoulder.
Stop.
It's crazy.
Girl, I'm so glad you saved that picture though.
I know.
Oh my gosh. That's so creepy.
Oh, I know.
And
I
you know what's
know.
so funny is little kids love that stuff. And they're like, ha ha ha, there's a second one. And we're sitting there like, yeah, because you have a demon attached
Demon
to
on your
you.
shoulder. Oh, that reminds me. So I go to sleep. Sometimes I have a hard time sleeping, but if I put like a podcast on, I've told you before, if I put a
Mhm.
podcast on of somebody like just monotone, I can fall asleep pretty good.
Yeah.
So last night I put one on because I was trying to sleep and I woke up feeling really scared, but not because I had a nightmare. I just woke up feeling really scared. And my
Hmm.
podcast was the guy telling a story, but it sounded like he was saying an incantation, but in garbled English. So it sounded like he was saying words, but
Was
none
it
of it made sense.
to you? Like just
To
to you? Or like he
it
was just doing
sounded like he
something
was
weird?
going, and I'm just saying any words in like any order, but this sounded like he was going, and then he was, and it was like very guttural talking. It was English words, but
Oh.
none of them made sense. And I thought, okay, well, maybe I'm asleep, but I woke up feeling like he was saying a spell. And
But it was a podcast.
but it was a podcast, so I pressed
So
pause on it because the words were like so
not,
intense.
yeah.
Yeah, and it was freaking me out. So I pressed pause and then like I woke up a little bit and I went pee and I came back and I pressed play on the podcast
Yeah.
and it was just he was telling a normal story. Like it was
I
no more
whoa.
weird voices, a weird voice. It was no longer angry sounding.
What was the podcast to begin with? Well, like what?
It was 48 hours. I always listen to 48 hours or 2020. It's always like a true crime podcast because they're always very like
Mallory,
on its
you go to sleep listening to true crime and you think you're not going to get incantations somewhere in there? What are you thinking?
but the thing is that they were just talking about like some little girl getting abducted. I don't know.
I quit.
But it was just
Okay.
weird because I feel like I feel like the podcast was being used as a way to like say something to me because my subconscious was hearing it and it was making me I literally woke up like this. I was like scared in my sleep. That's what it was. In my sleep I woke up scared and I had to
I
force myself awake to like get out of it.
Why are you telling me this?
Because it was just weird. Like it didn't even really I mean
Like,
it scared me.
what is happening in your life right now?
Oh my God, I'm so stressed from work. I'm
Like,
so stressed from work. And that's when they get me, is when I'm really stressed. They use any avenue. That's why I believe it. I believe that it was being using my phone to say things to me, probably to scare. It was probably saying things very mean. That's what it felt like. It felt like mean words were being said at me.
because you were quote unquote asleep.
Yeah. And I would hear them without hearing them, but I heard them in my subconscious. And I literally had to wake up to like get away from it. And I pressed pause on my phone so quick, I wasn't even fully awake. Like I wasn't even fully eyes open. I pressed pause on my phone so quick because of the whatever was coming out of it. I knew it was coming from my phone. I was half awake and I knew I needed to stop the words.
That is so
Yeah,
creepy.
it was weird. But
That
the
is
thing is
so
that I wasn't
creepy.
even that scared afterwards. It was really weird. I was scared, but I wasn't that scared. Like I got over it quick. As soon as the podcast went back to just them talking about whoever was getting killed,
Yeah. Yeah.
I was fine. I was like absolutely fine.
But like
I'm telling you, I'm so stressed from work right now because work
Yeah,
is just
like what?
stressful that
Because
they
the
get me.
last time we talked, you were like, I really it's really been fine. Like the last time we talked about this, you and I both were like, man, we've just been so busy. Like we've
Don't
maybe
even
stuff has
notice
happened.
anything.
We don't notice
Yeah.
anything. Now all of a sudden,
It's because my stress level is so high that
it's
they
because you
love to
started.
attack me
So
when
you
I'm weak.
started the new job. You have a toxic boss.
Basically, yeah.
So you're stressed, girl.
And I'm at my weakest. I'm at
Yeah.
my weakest right now.
See, that's the thing that people need to understand. You can't talking about it brings about a little bit, but it's not what people think. It's when you're not paying attention. It's
Yeah.
when you're not thinking about it. It's when you're not asking for it. It's when you're not bringing it up in conversation that the things happen. That's why, you know, the girl in the mirror for me,
Mm-hmm.
the girl in the mirror for me. I was had no thoughts in my head. We hadn't done a podcast in a couple of weeks. This is when we had first started out doing the podcast, remember?
And we were able to do it like more often.
And we were
Yeah.
able to do it more often. We talked for a lot longer because we were kind of trying to figure out what we wanted to do. We hadn't done it for like a couple of weeks. I was very adjusted. You know, often when we're moving PCSing, we're not adjusted, and that causes problems. I was very adjusted. We were completely moved in. My house, I was just cleaning my house, and I just see the girl in the mirror. And it was like, what the hell? Like, I wasn't even, if
Asking
I
for it.
watched a scary movie the night before, or we had talked or something, I would be on the lookout. That's
But
what
that's
people
the
don't
thing.
understand.
Yeah.
It
People
happens
think
when
that
you're not.
when you're not, the real stuff happens when you're not, sitting in a circle with candles saying light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Right.
Like the thing is
Right.
that these if entities are real, if evil is real, evil does not want to be told what to do. Evil doesn't want
No.
to be told it to be evil. Evil wants to scare you, and you're not going to get scared if you're waiting for it. You're going to get scared if you're sitting on the toilet or getting in the shower and you
Ex
see something in the
Thank
mirror.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what my mom used to say, "Oh, don't talk about it, da, da, da." And I said, "No, you don't understand. It's a power over the situation." That's a Junie movie, by
It's
the
the
way.
dog. Yeah.
It's a power over the situation that we hold because we get to say when, we get to say how scared. It's almost like I said, the immersion therapy of sticking your foot off the bed.
Yeah.
I watch scary movies. One, I enjoy them. Two, it's sort of the immersion therapy of like, this is really scary, but nothing is scarier than the real stuff. These
Yeah.
movies cannot touch what it feels like to hear loud noises in your home when you're home alone, or
Yeah.
to feel like someone is standing outside the shower curtain when you're home alone. Like
Yeah.
those feelings are so real. Everybody has them, even if they don't believe in anything evil.
Yeah.
And they never happen ever when you are expecting them to. Ever. Never. That's why they're creepy as hell.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going around going, I dare you. Like,
Yeah.
you're just going to take a shower midday and there it is.
But at the same time, I also don't want to provoke it. Like
No,
my brother's always telling me, well, you should go to a medium. You should go talk to somebody and have a seance. I'm like,
no,
no,
no.
I know it's there. I don't need somebody to prove it to me. I don't need
Yeah.
somebody to bring it closer. It's there. I know it.
Yeah.
Let me
And
leave it
you
alone.
don't want to know more about it. You're not trying to dig into the situation.
No. Mm-mm.
You'd
The
rather
thing is
just
that I see it enough. I
yeah.
know enough.
Yeah.
If I start delving into it, maybe it'll make it worse. Maybe it won't. Let's not take the risk. How about that?
I
Let's not
think
go down to the basement
thank
and down
you.
the hallway. How about
Thank
that?
you. I think what we've learned from all of our favorite very creepy horror stories is this. Unless you have to,
Yeah.
you don't go messing around.
Yeah.
Unless someone is physically possessed in which case that's a whole nother ballgame, right?
Yeah.
You don't go because that's exactly what these spirits want. They want a place to to link themselves to connect themselves to.
Yeah.
And you're already a bit of a connection because it obviously follows you. So why make it easier for them to stick around and tether themselves? So
Yeah, it
no,
does.
you're not trying to find out more about these people. You're trying
No,
to
I
get
don't want
away
to know
from
more.
these people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And for you, I know it's a little different, obviously. Like, I think the things that follow you aren't connected to you in any way. It's not like a family member.
No, I think I'm just maybe a little sensitive to it.
Very
Because I don't ever
sensitive.
feel it come in me. Like I don't ever feel like your cousin was like,
No.
I feel like there's something in me. I don't ever feel it come in me. I just feel it like around me. And I'm like, dude, I'm so boring. Leave me alone. Like,
Okay, wait, okay. I was gonna say this. I'm glad you said it too. Why you? Like, I was thinking about this the other day. You don't, you're not a drug addict. You're not an alcoholic. You're not a pedophile. You're not some crazy evil person. Um, you don't live a life that's like crazy unmoralistic. Like you're such a moral person. Like you just chill in your house and go to work and come home. Like what is so interesting about you?
I don't think it's really that I'm interesting. I think it's more I'm empathetic. I'm very empathetic to people. So like I can pick up on vibes on people. Um, and I think that's just what it is. It's just they can feel like I have this, I don't want to say sixth sense. That's so cheesy. But I have
It's true though.
well, I have like a stronger sense of people's energies a little bit. I'm not a hippy dippy. I don't think I'm like, oh, your aura is
No,
purple.
no.
No,
I think you're just
yes.
very you've always been very like, are you good?
Yeah.
You're okay? Like you've
And you're the
always
same way.
yeah,
You're the
even
same
when we were
way.
young, it was like
Yeah.
you could tell when somebody was off. You've
Yeah.
always been very sensitive um to like other people's needs too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which kind of is my downfall. But I think
Yeah,
that's
I
why. I
guess
think that's
that's
why it attaches.
true. I didn't think about that at all.
Yeah. And so now it's not gonna, oops. These things they want to be seen, they want to be known, they want to cause destruction. So they're going to latch on to somebody that actually will notice their destruction, that will notice whatever energy they can put out into the world.
And because it's been happening to you for so long, it's so interesting. Like, you would think at some point it would like teeter out, which maybe it has for you, maybe, but
A little
at
bit,
some,
only because I'm more busy.
yeah. But at some point, like, okay, guys, let's move on. Like, she's not the one. You know what
But
I
you,
mean?
if you think about it, right? If you think about it, if we're going off of like in a biblical sense, or not even biblical, just in a spirit sense, how long have these things been around? Millennias, right?
That's
They have,
true.
they're not wasting their time. They're just biding their time. So spending, how many years has it been since I was 17? Spending 23 years with me is nothing. That's a blink of an eye to them.
It's a, yeah, a drop in the bucket.
Yeah. So they're just having fun.
But yeah, that's true. I guess if you have eternity to be stuck where you're stuck, you would be relentless in trying to be freed from what's going on with you. I guess I
Yeah.
didn't think of it that way.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it easier, but
Doesn't make
again,
it
look
better.
at you're so empathetic. You're like, I kind of understand where the demons are coming from.
Like these poor guys,
Like,
they're bored.
listen, they're stuck here, okay? We can give them some of our sympathy. They don't have bodies. That is exactly what the white girl in the movie says, and then she dies. So who's the white girl now, ho?
Me. It's the Polish part of me coming out.
Oh
It's
my
my Polish ancestry.
gosh. That is so funny.